Hey Richard, what's good?
Hey, how's it going? Uh, did I mention I'm making like a 3 minute documentary in May? I'm filming like footage of one of my running routes, and I'm trying to work that into it's a 3 minute documentary. It's just like a challenge from this online community. And so I'm basically writing like the script to, like for what I'm going to say like during the documentary. And that's been interesting.
Great. First time hearing about that.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I feel it's interesting with like trying to convey a message but not making it seem like just hitting the audience over the head with the message. Like you sort of want, you want to use like the music, the footage, and some subtle dialogue to like convey like an idea, but you sort of don't want to come out and like say it directly because then it just feels like too like on the nose or something. So I'm struggling with that in the script. I'm trying to sort of leave it very light and open ended, but at the same time, I keep running away with it and like writing a bunch of stuff and then being like, well, I gotta not say that, but still convey like the message.
Why don't you like practice what you're gonna say and then like record to like record as you're saying it, it records written word. And so like you because I find that things flow naturally when we're talking and actually like rehearsing what it is we're gonna do instead of writing up script and then talking. So like
Yeah.
when I was practicing my TED Talks for my crazy idea with the hormones there and lifestyle, and telling my story and to build credibility to become the expert, and then how it's all connected, things would just flow to me, and I'm like, why am I not recording right now? And I did that 5 times. I was just like, I need to record as I'm doing this because things are just flowing to me naturally.
Yeah, that was like I feel like that's one of the reasons we started this was like just getting comfortable with being recorded, and then like hopefully we get to a point where we just do natural things, and sometimes nice things like we say things in a certain way that's said well, and but then like luckily we are recording. It's like uh but yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like it's so hard to like just get natural and comfortable with this like extra thought of like that it's being recorded and it has to be correct, but really it's I feel like that's kind of worked into us in that like all the movies and stuff we see like the final draft, and we only see a very light amount of like the bloopers or like how many times people said the lines just to say them to get comfortable with it before they said it like the actual good way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like we don't need to be perfect. We can make mistakes. It's when you try to be perfect that you become too focused on what it is you're doing, and then it's unnatural. So it's like when I play piano. I'll play and I compose these crazy, extravagant pieces. I may make a mistake here and there. But when I don't think about it, music just flows through me, and it's unreal. As soon as I put down a recording device and I start saying, oh, I can't make a mistake, otherwise I got to redo it all, then my fingers get rigid and I overthink everything and I don't flow anymore. I becomes mechanical and unnatural. So I'm working on that, and I'm hoping that the more I have exposure, putting the camera up, forgetting about the camera as it's going, and then just playing, I can capture the segment that I actually like want to put up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Instead of pressing play and be like, okay, here we go, here's the moment. I gotta make sure it's perfect, right? Like, no, I just record, and kind of like how we're talking right now, and just flowing, talking. It's recording, but you can make mistakes, and it's not like we're gonna take the perfect snippet from this and put this online. We're putting the whole thing on because the idea is to be raw. But that's what I can do with my compositions. I can I'll play the song over and over and over again, and it changes slightly each time until I've come up with this master version. But by me doing it every time, I can just trim the video when it's done recording. So I find that works. I've done that once so far, and I'm quite happy with it. It's just putting it up on YouTube, and I need to do portrait So I think what I should do is I should put the one that I showed you up just to do it, because you recommended just breaking the cherry and getting it done. Now, I do have a song up there already called Timeless that I forgot about, which is actually really beautifully crafted. It's just not me playing, it's a wormhole. And I have like I have my first piano practice that I put up there, which I'm going to get rid of because, yeah.
I don't know. I wonder about that. Getting rid of the old videos, like it's sort of like an act, like trying to, like tidy up before like guests come over or something. It's sort of like there's an argument to be made for like just being authentic and like kind of being proud that like these were the early ones, and then it's more like if people are into your channel, then they go back and they see like the original videos like still there, and they see like quite an authentic thing of like where you started, then it's just like bonus content almost if people want to go back and watch it. I don't know, I guess it can go both ways. Like I don't know if it takes away from the, like if it's a channel of every song is good, then it almost means like when it's time to post another video, you think like, well, there's a standard for the channel, and does this video meet the standard? But if you have at least just one video that's terrible on there, or like subjectively terrible, like in your opinion terrible or something, then there's no minimum bar, and you can just make a video, and when you feel it's good, then you put it up, and you don't have to like worry that it's bringing down the average or something.
Well, this is the thing that like Mr. Beast recommends is like if you're a new YouTuber, just post lots of content. And the idea is that every single time you post something, you're going to get marginally better. And, over the span of a year, and you got like 100 videos, or let's say 50 something, let's say you do one each week, or miss a week, I don't know. Every time you do a video, you're getting a little bit better. So when you compare your first video to the video at the end of the year, you're going to see like maybe 25-30% increase in quality, because it's just as you do stuff, you get better. Performing, you might be able to flow better. You might do little tweaks to your recordings and positioning. Sound quality might improve because of positioning. Because recording piano is not an easy thing. I'm told that there's lots of angles, and you might need 2 mics, and anyway, so post lots of stuff. That's what I got from him. So it's not going to be, what I'm trying to get at is like the bar is going to always be increasing, and the idea, the good thing that I've gathered from like looking at how to become a YouTuber is you learn from those that know, and like the thumbnail actually matters. And Mr. Beast and his team like spent hundreds of hours actually analyzing why thumbnails, like why did some videos with certain thumbnails have hundreds of thousands of views and others didn't. Like he did it all. And so thumbnails are important, your title's important, the length, promising, like if you promise something, you deliver. But my videos aren't like Mr. Beast, they're just musical performances. So there are
I think it's interesting like what Mr. Beast, like, because he's on like this high end of like mastering one aspect of the platform, which is like getting the views as high as possible. But I don't know if we want to, like, I would say like we're not really going for what he's going for. Yeah, like we're like like we may or may not be interested in like making thumbnails, but if we did make thumbnails, I feel like we could just make them look nice, and like there's a certain aesthetic to like the clickbaity thumbnail. Like it looks fun, it's engaging, it's got like action, it's action packed or something. But it's not like standalone. It's not like a beautiful thumbnail, but it's sort of like, could we just make, if we feel like it, we could make like nice looking thumbnails, and even if that counts against us or something for the views, it's sort of like just fun. Like we're also not making like a clickbaity, like the content of the video is not like engaging, and it's not like we'd change the content of the video, so then why, it's almost like why change like make the thumbnail a reflection of the video or its own thing, and don't like compromise the content or the thumbnail in an effort to just get more people to like watch it or something.
Yeah,
But I
no,
don't
like
know. Yeah.
they have to be linked, and clickbaiting isn't effective. The algorithm works a certain way. Like it looks at how you captivate your audience, how long they watch the video for, and if they watch multiple videos, and if they keep coming back. So they rewards, because it's really all geared towards the consumer, but they reward the artist. I guess we'll call them an artist if the consumer likes their content and actually watches it. So yeah, it's important to not have clickbait. So like for the thumbnail, for instance, like it does matter, and having beautiful, relevant thumbnails that are like linked to what it is you're actually putting up there is important. My idea is to use AI generated art. So I say my song, usually I name my song after what's inspired me, and it could be a series of emotions. So I could just say to the AI generator, feelings of sadness, space, and whatever else pops in my mind at that time. It could be a doggy, it could be
Yeah.
a cat, it could be
That part's fun. Yeah, that's like a fun part of the process too, especially just like seeing, like having art created and looking at it and picking between different art. But all that being said, YouTube Shorts don't even have thumbnails. I don't think you can add a thumbnail to them. So that element at least is removed, because it's more when people watch YouTube Shorts, they're just like scrolling, I guess, mostly to the right. I think like at least when I watch YouTube Shorts, they like show up as like a left-right scrollable container like in my video feed, and then you can just sort of watch one after the other. I think if you click on them, you might have to swipe like up to get to the next one, but they just all play one after another. I don't even think you see the title of them either, really. They just play, and then on the right, like over top of the video, there's like a share, like I think there might be a subscribe button somewhere.
I think I'll do both. Maybe I'll have one song, like one will be called a short, and the other one will be the actual YouTube video.
Yeah.
And so the short will draw people in.
Yeah.
Because unless they've changed it, and I watched the video with the lead algorithm programmer and Mr. Beast. It was about a year ago when this video conference happened. They said that shorts and the actual original videos, they were delinked because it was leading to some issues. Now they may have relinked them, but like they were two separate things. So if I have a short that's exactly the same as the other video will have the thumbnail, will have the title of the song, which is what I want, honestly. Like I want people to know the name of the song. I want them to have the art. I want it to be beautiful, right? Like the artwork. And I saw some of the AI I'm willing to pay a subscription, $100 a year or something, like no problem. But just like getting max views, for me, it's more than that. It's a hobby passion, and views are great because I want exposure. But it's, I want them to know the name of the song. I want them to be able to come back, right? And like see the work on my page.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I think there is an important. Yeah, like if somebody likes a song, it's nice for them to have like an image they can attach to the song, and the more like you can expand that little ecosystem, the more they can feel like they have different ways of getting the message.
Oh, here's an idea. If my short gets a certain amount of views, which will be dependent upon the number of subscriptions that I have. So let's say like if I get the number of subscriptions plus, my growth where I want to be in the next week, then I will produce the song, the full song. So the short will only be like a verse in the chorus, and the chorus dies off. But if they want the full song, and I get enough people who like it, then I'll create the full song, and then that means that enough people were exposed to it, enough people watched it, enough people liked it. So then I'll give them the full thing. That could be how I do it. And if my short doesn't get any traction at all, I'd be surprised. But then I don't create the song and I do another short. Anyway, enough about me and my YouTube idea.
It's fun to hear about that though. It's very fun because it's fun to just be like in this moment where like we haven't like put anything like hard out there yet. Like we have this new platform that we're like, you know, we both have like shorts out there apparently, or you have like, you said you have a video, but it's fun to be in the moment where like we could do anything, you know, like we have all these ideas and like we get to see like what happens, or we get to try new things. And it's very like, it's an exciting moment because like lots of stuff, almost nothing ever pays off basically. But like in this moment before we try the stuff, it feels like, it's just exciting to feel like maybe it will pay off, or maybe it will work, or maybe we'll stumble upon something, or like, it's sort of like this moment before it's out of our control, like that. I guess it's the last moment where we have control and we can deliberately do something, and then everything else is just like reacting to whatever happens or doesn't happen. And so it's kind of fun to be like right before that.
Mm-hmm. It would be a deathbed regret if I never actually put my stuff out there properly.
It'd be fun to do. I was thinking. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Because of fear. It's ultimately fear that's been holding me back all these years.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling a bit with this 3-minute documentary. Like lately, I've been doing just nonsensical content just to get stuff out there and to try to destroy that fear. But with this 3-minute documentary, some people in this community that I'm submitting it to, they're going to watch it like at the end of the month. And so I keep, I put some effort into it, and the more effort I put into it, the harder it is to actually feel like I'm going to be able to do it and deliver it. And so I'm still trying to work backwards and just think to myself, I'm just going to make it and then be fine with it, and not like chicken out and end up not thinking it's good enough or something. But when you said a second ago, you mentioned like people like encouraging people to like the short to release the full song. I was thinking another way is encouraging them to like comment below and saying that if you put a comment below and we get to like 100 comments, then I will take those 100 comments, and one of the comments will be like randomly selected as like the person that the song is dedicated to. And then like, but kind of in like a cheesy way, like just be like in the when you publish the full song, just throw something in the description of like, by the way, like this song is dedicated to this person who commented on the short and theoretically like made it happen by contributing to one of 100 comments that I arbitrarily decided like it was this song would not be released without.
Interesting, yeah. Well, sometimes the songs though like are actually inspired by a person or a feeling.
Yeah, there could be like a fake dedication and a real dedication, and and no one will know.
I have to think about it. I also want to be like authentic with this, right?
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I just mentioned that. I don't think any of these things are like. I think the video should stay like completely authentic, and there should be like no mention of like and subscribe or anything. Just like, if anything, just like say that as like a reminder. Like if people are liking the video, but it turns out they're not subscribing, then like I bet they would want to subscribe, and so then it's like a nice gesture to like remind them, but but not for the capitalism like reason or something.
I'm just gonna have like a please subscribe picture behind me, or have that in the corner, like add it to my videos somehow. I don't know how I would do that from the basic trim function I have. But this is all like where I can grow, right? These are like the fine tweaks. What matters is really just getting the music out there. And yeah. So I got a lot of different ideas. And like a lot of it comes from the books that I'm reading. Like I find that I'm just by reading and by taking action and by trying new things, I'm developing these skills or just the right amount of knowledge to be able to give me momentum. So for instance, reading the 4-Hour Work Week brought awareness to affiliate marketing that I never had before. Also brought awareness to um, medical vacations. So like you travel to a place in order to do a procedure that otherwise in Canada would be 5, 6, 10 times as much. But then you make an experience out of it. And then he talks about like mini retirements versus the vacations that we do. So mini retirement is like going to a different country, getting a place for a month and living there, or 3 months or a year even. And you just straight up live in this area and you take classes to learn the language. And he basically did like a cost comparison and he got trained to do so he went to Mexico, got a penthouse. He took language courses. He was trained, was it jiu-jitsu or something? And salsa dancing by 2 different professionals. And he got VIP access to like this nightclub every weekend. And there was another thing he was doing. And when he, tallied everything up, he's like, when you're a student there, then you get like discounts to a whole bunch of other stuff like public transit. And he did all those calculations. He's like, when you actually tally all this up, it equals the cost of living in the States, like what it would be for a month. But instead of actually like just being stuck into an area that you hate and paying utilities and insurance and everything else, you're living this luxurious lifestyle. Now, of course, this is if you have passive income, but he's like, this is still fully doable if you have a complete, full remote work arrangement. And, I just never had this awareness. Like, I thought that, like, you plan a vacation, you go for 2 weeks. I feel like it's a mad rush. It's super overpriced. And it is. And he's like, I've done all this before. And he's like, having, you plan out this trip and you're enjoying yourself and you don't actually want to go, but your plane ticket's forcing you to. And then having the exit date while you're trying to get around and going from country to country, so you have your exit flight moving to the next flight to the next country, is a source of stress, which defeats the whole idea of the vacation because you're trying not to get stressed. You're trying to actually like relax, right?
Yeah.
So by doing these mini retirements, you actually get maximum enjoyment. It's just you got to plan it all out in advance. He's like, at first it takes 3 weeks to do it, and he's like, he can do it in 3 afternoons now because he knows exactly where to look.
Yeah, so, and I've heard actually that it takes at least. I've heard that it does take at least like 3 weeks to actually fully detach from thinking about work. Like when people go on vacation, if they just do like 1 week, they never really get work out of their mind. So I have heard that, like, if you really want to reach a state of being relaxed at all, then you need a block of 3 weeks or something like 2 or 3 weeks. And so even then, so that does support the case of like taking longer vacations. But of course, like, that would mean more money unless you find a way to do it for less. And it seems like he's talking about like traveling to places that you can
living.
Yeah, like you can afford. Yeah, you can afford to spend the same amount of money for a vacation as a normal vacation, but get more length out of it.
Yeah, but he's like, just kill the word vacation because like the old vacation, the whole idea of it is just flawed and it's stressful. And the thing isn't to just detach from work completely. It's remote work. So you can still work in your other location or when you're on this mini retirement. And he calls it a mini retirement because he's talking about like having a passive income, right? And being at that point. But you can still do this with a remote work arrangement. So instead of being stuck in an area you don't want to be, you can actually travel to different places in the world and learn new cultures and do new activities and meet new people and get around and see different places. And then if you want, you can come back or you can plan your next location while you are, because you can stay a year. As long as you don't need to go back into the office, and then you can actually straight up have vacation days still and branch off from where you're at and go to other areas. But it's just what he's done is he's like really opened my eyes to the possibilities that are out there that I never even thought of doing. And so, like, for instance, I mentioned affiliate marketing, and I never really realized what that was. But he's like talking about automating your income. And there's a blueprint that's been done by McDonald's and Blockbuster, and it's like this proven way to model your business. Now he's tweaked it so that this is automated and you remove yourself from it, like from the actual blueprint, so you're not a funnel blocking information. But like he shows what works. And part of it is affiliate marketing, for instance. 15 to 40% of whatever income you have would go to that. And that's a lot. And then I actually came across this water purifier that's high end, 6,500, I guess American. I'll have to confirm. I think they're talking in Canadian currency, actually. And, this is expensive, high commission. This is an expensive, high commission product. Now, the way the business model is that the folks that bring you in do 90% of the work. All you have to do is, when you're actually in it, you have to buy one of the products so that you can at least speak to it and you know that it's good. It's what they expect to show that your commitment. And, $6,500 for startup cost for business isn't that bad. And you can make all that back by selling units. But you get out there and they'll teach you how to market. You get out there and you start selling stuff, and the more you hustle, the more money you can bring in. And there's pay incentives. So you sell 2 units, and you double your commission. You sell 10, and then you triple your commission. So, and eventually you get higher up. They'll give you automated income each month. When you get to the very, very top, it's like $80,000 a month, automated, doing nothing. Unreal. But that's like top tier. You made the company millions of dollars kind of thing, right? But you can get there. And people are like, oh, pyramid scheme. Don't do it. But when I looked at it and I actually paid attention, every sale has 8 points. 8 pieces of pie, and each are worth $360. Well, you times that by 8, that does not equal the price of the unit. It's about 40%. Well, affiliate marketing, expect about 40% going to the people that are selling the shit. I'm like, well, this is actually legit. This is viable. This is not a pyramid scheme. Not everybody, like, there's not more pieces of pie there than the value of the product itself, which kind of confused me at first because they said it's possible to make a commission of $8,140. And I'm like, how is that possible when the product is only worth $6,500? Well, if you sell the bigger package of 3 units, which goes for $19,000, then yeah, you can get bigger commissions, obviously. But they were also talking about when you reach the leadership level, when you start creating your own teams, you get bigger kickbacks because you're building capable marketers, which makes sense. So, but, if I stumbled upon this and all I heard from people with pyramid scheme, and I never read the book, The 4-Hour Workweek, I probably would have just said, fuck this, and ran away because I'm risk adverse. But because I've connected the dots and realized that this is actually viable, I'm going to give it a shot. And I'm also looking at day trading. And, I've seen a lot of day traders or automated day traders out there that, want $350 to start. And, for me, that seems sketchy. I think they're just going to take it and run, right? But this guy that I'm looking at doesn't do that. He just says, follow me and do what I do. You don't need any experience, and you'll make my gains. It's that simple. He's been interviewed. He's real. He has a following of 7,000 people. It's not easy to get in with him. I've had to message, I think about 10 times and say I want in this. Get me in this.
Yeah, the day trading and trading stocks is not too bad because if there's no upfront cost to you, like this, I would say one measure of the legitimacy of something is the amount of money that you have to give up before you've sort of seen any benefit to yourself. And so hopefully with this day trading guy, if you did get in with him, he wouldn't immediately ask you for like some amount of money in order to like for you to become like his apprentice or something. Like that would seem more of the scam side if he was like, oh, this is an exclusive group where you have to pay me to like be part of my knowledge base or whatever, then it's sort of sketchy. But if he is offering free advice legitimately and then you take his advice and you see if you can make it work for you, then it's just advice like any advice, and that might work. But with the water, I should comment on the water purifier thing because like one of the like there's no real hard definition for like a pyramid scheme, but I think one of the pieces of math that doesn't work out sometimes is that like there's only so many people that are going to buy like a water purifier, and especially a water purifier at that point level. Like then you like with $6,500 you're sort of just looking at like businesses and wealthy individuals, and there's only so many of those people. And so like what happens in a typical thing that follows like a pyramid scheme shape is that like there's the founder, there's the people that get in early. They will set up like regional branches, and they'll sort of like comb like a whole area. Like they'll sell purifiers to the businesses that will buy them. They'll sell purifiers to the people, but then they run out of clients because you don't need like a second purifier after a certain amount of time. Like you've exhausted the clientele. And so then it moves to the lower levels where now the people they're selling to, what they're doing is they're saying like, we're not going to sell you this purifier. We're going to make you a salesman for this purifier, which that in itself is okay. But when they then say, and the first thing you have to do is buy a water purifier, then really what's happening is they've run out of people to sell purifiers to. The only people left that are buying purifiers for $6,500 are people that believe they're entering like a sales role, and the first step is to buy the purifier. But if the only people left that are buying purifiers are people that believe they're going to sell them, then your job essentially, as soon as you buy that purifier, is to find other people that would want to enter into, like, would want to become a water purifier salesman. And so really, like, you could sort of expect that you've already invested like 6,500 and you immediately have to find some, like, a group of people that haven't been found yet that would be interested in also becoming like water purifier salesmen. And so the pool of people is like rapidly shrinking. And like sort of the step that you enter on is like a salesman for the region found you and found other people in your region, and they bought in or they didn't. And so if you become like a salesman in that region of which that guy has already sold to you, you're now looking in like the same region or at best among your friend network to try to say, like, not to try to sell them a product that they could use, but to try to sell them this idea of being their own business, which like you got sold on. But then like the difficulty is then, you know, like you sort of just have to end up trying to get rid of this thing that is increasingly hard to get rid of. And so I feel like that's the hook, is that if you could get the purifier given to you for free and you could sell that purifier to someone and make a commission, like a small commission on the purifier for selling it, then that's like a job, and there's no risk to you. Like you can step away at any time. But if the first thing that you have to do is invest like $6,500, then you're sort of like the person who recruited you already made their money off you and doesn't really, like, they're done. They sold the purifier that they had to sell. They're out of it. And there's no real incentive for them to make sure you're doing well or that you're having success. They can just kind of move on to the next person and try to sell it to them. And so really, I feel like the important piece is, if someone else is telling you that these water purifiers sell themselves and you're going to make $80,000 a year selling them, then why do they want you to spend $6,500 of your own money just to have the privilege of selling that machine? Really, they should be giving it to you for free, because like if they recruit you, if they give it to you for free, and in fact you can make 80,000, then they ultimately see a cut of that because they're one step above, and so they would want you to sell. But it's sort of like, especially for the price point of several $1,000s, like $6,500, it really seems like their end game is to sell you that machine, and they're just using a sales tactic to do it, making you sort of believe this thing that will happen in the future, which maybe like sort of sounds too good to be true. But that's what I would caution against, like really doing anything that where there's like an upfront cost. Like if they say like you're going to make the money back easily, then it sort of seems like, well, why do I have to begin by paying money? It all starts to really seem like, what it's like you're sort of giving them the benefit of the doubt that it's true, but they could easily just demonstrate to you that it's true without you giving them like a lot of money to then find out whether they were telling the truth or not, which probably I would always conclude that like you got to assume they're not and then work from there.
This is the model.
Yeah.
This is the way. No, this is the model. This is affiliate marketing. This is how it works. I think affiliate marketing is the triangle. It's the fucking pyramid. And
when I hear affiliate, there's like Amazon affiliate. That's a way where like if you have like 1 million people watching your piano video and they also want to learn to play piano, then you can put like an Amazon affiliate link in your description that says, if you want to buy the piano that I'm using in this video, click this link. And that link will take them to like the purchase page for the piano on Amazon. But if they make the purchase, then you actually get a commission on the purchase that they made on Amazon because they clicked like your Amazon affiliate link to make the purchase. And I think that model's all over the place on the internet, but I think that model works because like there's no you have to basically you have to get some people clicking on those links before you can be like accepted into the Amazon affiliate program. But there's no cost at any point to you. All you do is just like you just give people that link, and if they click that link, like you can generate these links for free with like your affiliate ID. And if you give people that link and they make a purchase, then you make money off of it. But at no point do you have to do anything other than just getting these links, generating these links for free and then sending them to people. And if you have a popular YouTube channel with like a product you can recommend and stand behind, then you can tell people like, you can support me by clicking this link that will give me a cut of the sale that is made on this page. And I feel like that's more of like a sustainable affiliate program where like you're working kind of as a salesman on behalf of Amazon in a passive way. And so like you're an affiliate of Amazon you're giving them like they could buy a piano anywhere, but you're like a trusted member of the community that's funneling sales like to Amazon, and the people, they're not being charged more. They're just getting a good deal on a product that they can see working like in the video.
Oh, nice. I want to actually see if I can get a Yamaha grand piano that way then. But I obviously would need to have, people looking at my YouTube. So the difference is that like they'll give me links and ways to market and stuff. The only difference is that I need to buy the product up front. And I suppose that is like the smaller stuff like Avon or whatever. You got to buy all the products and you got to sell them. But what's different is that they've already done all the work for you. You just send people the link. Selling it, not just the product, you're selling the business. Yeah. But it can work.
Yeah,
I mean, it sucked me in. It sucked me in. It can work. It can actually work. So you're going to get people that, do this.
Yeah, it's very tricky, I think, these things. And I don't know, I wouldn't feel like sucked in by it. Like it's sort of like if you make the decision to buy a product because you in fact do want like a water purifier and you don't mind paying that amount of money, then it's like people can do that if they want to. And then if you believe in the product and you like it, then you could talk to other people about it. But I feel like there is like an element where it crosses into like dishonesty, where like if the only reason you bought it is because you believe you can get other people to buy it, and everybody knows that they don't really need it, then it's sort of like, even if you do make a lot of money that way, it's not really like a very like honorable foundation to stand on, and it's sort of like, it's good as long as people are benefiting from it, but ultimately this is sort of just like a means to an end to like make money, and it doesn't really, it's the passion is not really there. It's not really fun to think of ourselves in that way, that like we trick people or something. And but of course it's fine to like be tricked, I guess. Like, if we accidentally spend money, we accidentally get tricked, then we can just kind of use that as a lesson. We still get to use the product and enjoy it, or we could try to sell the product at some point. Maybe someone actually does need it, or not, or we just take the loss. Like if we accidentally get scammed or something, we just take the loss. But it's the thing is, if we allow ourselves to feel embarrassed about it, then that's one more tool they can use to keep us in the system. Where like, if we feel embarrassed and we feel we made a mistake, the only way to prove that we didn't is to like double down and try as hard as we can to sell these things, so we can prove to everyone that we were right all along. But I mean, there's a good chance that like our life savings will run out before we can do that, and then eventually we have to admit to ourselves like it was a gamble and it didn't like pay off.
Yeah. Well, at least I don't have to make the purchase once. The part that kind of gets me is that what really drew me in was they said it was going to cost me $0. And when I asked about that, there's like, well, it doesn't need to cost you any money, because you could take a loan from the bank, and then you can make it all back in commission before you owe the loan back. I'm like, that's not $0. That's me loaning money and making it back on commission. That's not a $0 to start model.
Yeah, that's
So
like another risk you have to take on. That's actually
that was deceitful, I find. Because loaning money from the bank doesn't mean that the product is fucking $0. It means the product is $6,500 and you got to take a loan from the bank.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's good that you caught that, because that is true. Like, they're trying to trick you with that piece alone, and the fact that you realized it is important, because
that's the piece that drew me in, man.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
so I'll look up the definition of affiliate marketing and see if this truly fits it, or if this is just they're trying to pull the wool over people's eyes, and actually it's a pyramid scheme. Because like, go ahead. Because I am concerned that the product's been around for 50 years, or almost 50 years. The market could be saturated with these things. So this guy that ended up selling this, he had 5,000 followers, picture of the fancy car, wearing a fancy suit, looked like he was legit. I can easily duplicate that. And what's funny is I did a social experiment with an avatar. Did I talk about this already?
I don't think so.
Busty video game character avatar. I have a following of 4,100 people. And I did not post anything. All I did was send some blind friend requests, and then I posted on some people's walls a heart that had like pretty big followings, and I had 1,000 friend requests a day. And then I turned my profile into a professional profile, so then I started to get all these friend requests, but then they just became followers, and I didn't accept them as friends. So I got 4,100, and I think I can remove all the friends, put some posts out there, and then I can probably get another 4,000, as long as I keep removing the friends. And there's a way to do that on Google Chrome. Google Chrome? Just Chrome? I don't know. There's an extension you can do where you can just remove all your friends instead of having to do it one at a time.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can just keep the followers coming in. So I can build a following and then change the avatar to me in a suit and the cover page with me with a Photoshop Lamborghini or a fucking jet, because I know people that can do that. And I can put on this facade, but then this whole thing is just deceit across the board. The fucking business model, who I am to make myself credible. So it's basically, it's faking it until you make it kind of thing, by deceiving people. And not everybody's going to pick up on it. Now, is that who I am? So that's the thing now I need to, no, the answer is no. No, that's not who I am. But I could do it. I've had the social experiment, the knowledge, me being sucked into it. The guy's already done it. All I got to do is copy and paste his ad, copy and paste the content of his profile, and I could be his immediate competition. Like it's crazy. But I also have a virtual assistant in the Philippines who charges $5 Canadian an hour, who I can say, hey, I created this fake account. I'll give you full access. Here's how to market. I just took a course on it. Can you market for me for 10 hours a week? That's $50 Canadian. All she does is take all my pre-saved messages and links and post them around and get the word out. Crazy, eh? I mean, I could do it. I learned about VAs from that book. I had this person message me out of the blue, add me as a friend, say she's a virtual assistant. I could tell you before reading this book, if I had someone come up to me and do that, I would have blocked them. Like, what the fuck's a VA? I would have assumed it was a scammer. This person's legit. Philippines.
That sounds like a useful system for just promoting, like, originally your songs, like YouTube shorts, YouTube videos. Have that person market for you, but just give them like figure out some platforms like, I don't know, AdSense or whatever those things are, like where you can purchase advertisements on different social media and like engage with customers or something, or find communities and post links, and just have that person like, post links to your music by making like Reddit posts or something for you for like same amount of time, like you said, like $50, 10 hours. Just have them find people online that might be interested in hearing music and get the links out there. And maybe just putting the effort behind the thing you're passionate about, like the music, just taking all these tactics and stuff. Yeah. Cause that's, even if it doesn't work, at least it's what you want to do. Like anything we do has a chance of working or not. But if we're passionate about it, then it's never time or money wasted. If we should try to do the thing we want to do and just enjoy doing that. As an end.
Yeah. Instead of just hoping that people will find it, that the algorithm in YouTube works, just constantly have this campaign. Like there's this group, the Art of Living group, from that event that I went to, 650,000 people. People are sharing their artwork. People are sharing their videos. And one guy was like, I'm not going to share my stuff because it's fun. I'm like, no, you're inspired to do something. You're looking at your life like as an autistic man and the challenges you face. Fucking put the link up there. It is up to us whether or not we want to click it. But and you're not going to get all 650,000 people looking at it. I mean, it all depends on, I don't know, when your thing comes up. I mean, some people get several thousand likes, some people get 30 likes. It all depends on when their thing is posted. So it's like, just do it. This whole thing, like just getting out of your comfort zone, pushing through your fear, getting into the learning and growth zone. I mean, if Matthew wanted to do anything, like if he was authentic with what he wanted to do and like to change lives, like creating that group and creating a community that encourages others to push into their growth zone and to keep accelerating. I mean, he's already achieved his mission. And then to like now have this rule where you can't do that and you can't express yourself or what your dreams or what your passions are because it's considered advertising. That I think that takes away from the intent, the mission. So I encourage this guy to post this thing, and I think he did. I'm pretty sure he did. And then somebody like looked at mine and said, like, Justin Leck, I saw one of your videos from your page there, and you're an inspiration. Incredible job. I'm like, huh? What video? Like, I guess she went into Reverb Nation and it found my Timeless video. But I was just like, I listened to my Timeless video. I'm like, this actually isn't half bad. I really need to get my shit up there.
Yeah. Yeah, we're too critical of ourselves, I think. Yeah, it's nice when communities where people can post and share and be vulnerable, like, and share their stuff and encourage others. It's nice when those communities exist. it's a bit, everything is so like wrapped in capitalism though that it's always a bit scary when people are, they're sharing their stuff, they're being vulnerable, they're wanting to connect with people, and then if they kind of end up getting like funneled into like a marketing thing or being sold something, it's always a bit like sketchy. I think Matthew McConaughey actually has future plans to like run for governor or something. So I feel like part of this is he's connecting with people and getting his like personal brand out there in like before he then announces like a campaign to like become the governor of Texas or something. And
yeah. People are like, people were like Matthew for president. The people who were straight up like Matthew for president. Matthew, like that came up a few times in the Zoom chat that I was a part of. And I was like, yeah, Matthew for president, better than fucking the other two monkeys that are up there. So why not?
It is weird. I don't really. I feel like there really shouldn't be like a barrier to being president, but I just wish it was like someone who is trained in political science, I guess, would be good, and like world affairs and negotiating would be nice, and also not a billionaire or a multi-millionaire, just like a person who is capable of doing the job. That's what I would want. I don't know if we like, it's always like a movie star, like someone who's like has this crazy brand and all this like data, and they like,
I want somebody like rose through the ranks and who inspires people to be the best versions of themselves. Why not have a leader of the nation be somebody who's a leader, an inspiration? That other stuff can be learned. They have teams of people that can support the if he became president, he could have the team to support him and help him out. Yeah, you got to have like some idea of what you need to do, but you can learn all that. But if his image inspires people, and if he's well known throughout the country, it's just, and he came from like rags to riches kind of thing. That's the kind of leader you want, not the kind that fucking bankrupts and scams people and encourages riots and objectifies women and sexually assaults women. Like, that's not a leader. That's a criminal. They got fucking criminals up there. I haven't seen a good leader for a long time, Richard. And they would be because I was bred to be a leader in the military. Mm-hmm. And the Canadian Armed Forces did it wrong. They bash, they haze until they take away everything you are. They don't build you up, they beat you down. And it's like, that's not how you build a leader. So I learned how not to be a leader, and now I know what to do. And it's been a long time since I've actually seen a good leader. And I would say that Matthew, with what he's doing and the life that he's leading, and the path that he is on, he's leading by example. He's showing what is achievable if you really apply yourself.
Yeah, he is doing the right stuff. And I guess in order to like it's like anyone who wants can like be a leader of a small community and of their own community, they can do the right things that they believe in. But to make it on a large scale, I wonder sometimes is it even possible to make it, to the role of president, or to have 1 million subscribers without like gaming the system a little bit. And that's not wrong all the time. Like there is a little bit of like social media gaming, like social engineering is required to jostle your way to like the position of power. But then it's like that sort of like at some point everyone who like even is just a good leader in society, like after the fact they've proven themselves to be a good leader, inspiring leader, they all have like these, at some moment in their past they had to like bend the rules a little bit to get ahead, because if they didn't, like someone else would, and they would then be the person who's there instead of them. And I wonder, like,
maybe not.
I wonder about that.
Maybe he hasn't. Who knows?
Well, I would say like the connection with like Tony Robbins seems like a person who kind of like is a bit like, doing it for money more than to help people, and just the fact that there's like connection, like in order to grow your, like, even if, like, in order to grow your community and help people, you have to collaborate with other people that have large communities. And a lot of the people that do have massive communities, like 10 million followers, those people got there by being a little bit like subversive, a little bit like tricky. And
Matthew's
then,
there, man. He's
Yeah.
there, and he hasn't been tricky. He has 10 million followers on Facebook. Crazy. Straight up.
Yeah,
I don't even know. That was when I first looked at him. I don't know what he's at now. He could be even more. That's what? That's a tenth of the U.S. population? I don't know what the U.S. population is now, but that's a huge chunk of people. Obviously, it's not just Americans, Canadians, and everybody else as well. But I don't know, man. I don't know if he had to be shady to get there. It doesn't seem. I think if people saw him as shady, they wouldn't have been inspired by him like they have been. I do sense from him that he's authentic. I think that Tony and Dean saw an opportunity to capitalize on this. They had the infrastructure to help get the message out there. They did a superb job allowing him to get his message out there. It a little bit overshadowed the message with the course. But, it's really Tony and Dean that are pushing this course stuff. And they say it's that they're passionate, they're the pioneers, and they want to help others. For what they charged, because the total price was $12,000 to do the mastermind coaching, they don't need that money. They don't need that money.
It is. It does cross a line. Like, that clearly crosses a line into, like, there's a blurry line, but that one's clearly on the wrong side of, like, way too much money, way too much, like, hype.
They can charge it, and people will pay it. But if you are trying to help people out, it needs to be reasonable.
And it's interesting, though, that, like, Matthew McConaughey is kind of in a position where Matthew McConaughey could be the leader that we need, and he could go to those people and say, $12,000 is too much money. These people are using my name and my brand to rip you off and to attack this vulnerable population. And, like, Matthew McConaughey, the leader, could say, don't do that. Like, you're my followers and I believe in you, and you can do it without this. You can do it yourself. And he could, he can lead those people to the better life that he wants to lead them to, in the way that, like, good leaders can, by, like, caring about the individual people, like sort of getting them to where they need to be, like, giving them the power themselves to get themselves out. But I mean, so far we've kind of just heard silence from, like, the leader. Like, everything's it's working for him. He has a lot of follow. Like, if he came out and said that, I think his follower count would probably go down a little bit. And so far, it seems he's not willing to have it go down. He wants it, to stay the same, to grow. And so that means, in this moment where this is a leadership moment where he can stand up for principles, but it seems that he's passively making the decision to grow the follower count, which I think, maybe, like, it could be that ultimately that's the right choice, because the more followers you have, you can then, like, later down the road, you can turn around and, like, I don't know, you can become president and fight global warming and fight poverty. And if you believe that you're the only one that can solve those problems, and only by being president, then you have to, and if you have to lie your way a little bit, or, like, back down from your principles a little bit to get there, then, like, maybe it's, like, retroactively justified. But it is one of those things where it's like, well, I want to see him helping people immediately right now, and then I'll believe in him. But if I don't see evidence along the way that he's willing to compromise a little bit of himself to serve others, then I don't think that when he gets to the top and he has all the power and is elected, I don't think he would then suddenly turn into someone who doesn't who stands like very, nobody makes, I don't think a person is really capable of making that quick pivot. I think that like whoever they are day to day, they kind of continue along those lines.
Sure. But the thing is, I don't think he's aware of the mastermind coaching costs. And that is totally I would say Dean is the driving force behind that. I don't know what Tony's doing. I don't know if Tony's just a figurehead or he just, he says his, he says his wisdom, he says his peace. But it seems like Dean is really pushing the mastermind coaching stuff. He's the one that was like the face of it when he gave like that workshop of the 3 different steps. And then, if you have the potential to thrive with us, then call in. And that's what we'll sell you, the 12,000 program. It's just, if they really were doing it to help people, they would match the cost. It would better fit what the middle class can afford. Yeah. I find that it's too expensive for the middle class. I'm high middle class. I don't have any dependents, and even I was like, I would have to go into debt, or I'd have to be super frugal for a year to pay for that. For a year, and I drive a beater. So,
and the fact that like you can't even find that price online. They don't even tell you the price until you're in, like, because they knew if they said the price, people could just tear it apart. But
they make you feel special. They make you feel elite. They make you feel like you have a great idea that can change the world. And my idea actually could.
But yeah, you could do, and yeah, like I think we talked about, you could just do it yourself, which I think you can, and you are doing or something. Yeah,
I think I can. This is that they help facilitate it. They give you, they hold you accountable, and they teach you about marketing and stuff like that. But these are things I can pursue on my own. It's just, I don't think Matthew is aware of this, and that's not his bag, right? This is a different organization. So, and I don't think this is like him coming forward and saying that this is wrong. There's no reason to, because it's not his thing. $400 for a course. I mean, courses go for more than that. So was it unreasonable? I don't think so. Yeah.
I guess I'd postpone. Like I would postpone judgment. Like I wouldn't say that he's bad or good or anything. I would just say like, we've seen certain facts in the situation, and whatever happens in the future, we'll get more information, and we just keep making, different decisions. But there's always like, people change and grow, and they do different things. And then we ultimately, like at different times, we have to make decisions based on the info we have. And we just, it's good to just like collect facts and evidence, for later use when we need to decide something, so that we can sort of just like follow the path of truth or something.
It's interesting to see where he goes. I am very curious. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger was an actor and bodybuilder, and he became governor of California. So Matthew's an actor, now becoming an inspirational leader. He wants to become governor of Texas. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, it's interesting to me. Like it's just like the people who are rich and the people who are popular, they kind of, decide to like move into a role where they have like more wealth or power. But it's like politics, there shouldn't really be like wealth or power or like pride in like politics. It should just be like another job that someone gets paid to do, like, organize the city, organize the town, organize the state. Like that should just be a job for a certain wage for a person who is skilled in that set. And then if they want to be a leader, they can just be a leader, be a thought leader, organize the community, collaborate with the government. They could do all the things they want to do. They can just do it. They have the money, they have a following. They don't need to also be a guy shuffling papers at a desk, deciding on like policy and reading like bills from Congress and stuff. They can have someone else do that. I don't know why they think like they need to be in that role and make decisions about like whether or not abortion is legal, or if you can if you can say the word gay like in a school when you're a teacher. Like it's like why does a famous Hollywood actor who's a millionaire like need to be the one deciding that when what they say they want to do is just like help people solve the problems that they believe we have? That it's just like a very like, it's like, let's just keep the job, like these like jobs separate from each other. Like just have a guy like doing policy and cooperating with the legal system, and then we have other people that are like telling us how to use the system for our own benefit and achieve more, and let's just have everything working together, like rather than like there always has to be like one person at the top with all the money, and then like of course we all have to believe like they're super benevolent and they're acting in our best interest, even though like they weren't until like they have all the power and all the money, and then they say like that it'll all pay off or something. It's weird. Like it's where I wish things were like more decentralized or something, and just not just like people in groups making decisions about what will benefit the group like together, rather than like one person telling the group what the answer is, and then like benefiting also from us selecting that choice. Is kind of like, it's just
that's how countries work, my friend. Federal and provincial for us, and the states for the Americans. But like it almost sounds like you're saying, everything should just be tribes, and if the population wasn't as huge as it was, that's how it was. I mean, before we became countries, we were tribes, and we had communities, and decisions were made at the local level, dependent upon culture and immediate. Yeah, I mean, it made sense, but then imperialism and greed and forming of countries happened, and then bureaucracy and bullshit and the push for individualism and consumerism, and we are here and we just can't go back. Our population's too big. Mm-hmm. The only way to go back is if civilization crumbles, and then it's going to be anarchy until the population's called to the point where I never can say that word, cuts down, reduced until you get the Walking Dead scenario going on minus the zombies. Anyway, brother, I gotta hit the hay. I gotta go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was a good conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah. We'll see each other, I don't know, next week.
Yeah. Talk to you then.
Yeah, I'll see you then.
You gave me lots to think about. Take care.
Bye.